Hey guys, Huzuni here. I wanted to do a showcase slash overview of a mod that I have been working on. Now this is called Smokestacks. It's an add-on for the Create mod. It's pretty straightforward. It adds one new feature and two new blocks. So the new blocks that we are looking at are in front of us here. I'll go through the crafting and what they do in a second. What we need to go over quickly is that key feature. So everybody's familiar with the Create Steam engine. Now, using these, I always thought that there was something missing, and that was steam. And now, when you power a steam engine, it will produce steam out of the top. Now, how do we go about managing that? We've added in two new blocks. Pretty straightforward crafting. It just uses the pre-existing Create iron sheets. So you use 6 of them down each side, and that will give you one of, wherever that's gone in my inventory, one of the new smokestack blocks. I've also got a large smokestack that is just using 8 of these steel sheets. Those are used, I think you create those with a compactor, and what you can do with them is you can pop them on top of the boiler to make a chimney. This can come out the side, and you can kind of route it around. There's no limit to how far you can route this at the moment. I figured that, you know, to keep it kind of player friendly, we'll just go with this for now. So what you do there is you can put a smokestack on your steam boiler. So just adds a little bit of immersion, I'd say. So now when you're building your steam boilers, you have to think about how you manage the smoke. So that there was, I think, a level 3 boiler. If we move up to, I think this is a level 9 boiler, you'll see that once we've got a smokestack connected, the smoke will come up, and you'll actually have more smoke. So that's a level 3, that's a level 9, and that's a max level. And you can see the difference in the density of the smoke that comes out of the top. So the higher level and the higher level the boiler, the more smoke that comes out of the top. Pretty straightforward. We've also got the large smokestack. Now you can obviously mix these. You can add a large smokestack and then go to a small smokestack. The only downside to the large smokestacks is that you can't route them horizontally, whereas with these you can route them horizontally, and they just connect in the same way that pipes do. With the small smokestacks, if you don't want to have this hole in the top of your roof here, what you can do is if you grab a casing, brass or andesite casing, you can just pop it on there and it fills it out in the same way that you can do with a pipe. Not a pipe, sorry, with a shaft. Pipes use the copper version of that. So super straightforward. Just a quick little mod. This does work with aeronautics. So you can pop it on here. When you do turn on the boiler, or the steam vent, sorry, it does stop the smokestack. Turn it back on, it does continue. My logic there was that if you're going to route everything through the steam vent, you're probably not going to have too much smoke coming out the sides there. So that's kind of your idle version of that boiler. It's something you can change or happy to adjust based on feedback. That was just my logic. Also, if you have one of these powering like a balloon or something, you don't want the top of it just smoking like crazy. It's a bit of a nuisance. So if you fill that up there, it'll stop the smoke. But if you have one gap free, it will smoke. So, yeah. Works with Create Aeronautics. This gets really cool if you have bigger builds. I've used this in some of my battleships. It's really cool to see like from a distance, how powerful an engine is inside a ship. You can see by how much smoke is coming out of the top, whether or not the ship is currently powered, and it just kind of cruises around with the boat. It just adds a little dynamic component to Create. I feel Create is wonderful. It's the models are so detailed. It's literally like no other mod ever created, but there's little things like this where I'm like, it could be really cool if you just added this feature. Might just be me. I might be the only person going, damn, put a chimney on that. It is the light version of the mod. I've distinguished it because there is an alternate fork that I'm still working on that adds a pollution component, which essentially the more smoke and steam engines you use in a set location, the more polluted that location gets. You'll have environmental effects, like there will be ash raining from the sky, a shorter draw distance, and the water will just get murky and scummy. It'll turn into basically just swamp water. So the idea is that basically don't have your industry right where you grow your crops. The level of pollution will influence your ability to grow things in that area. So if you've got a farm, move it away from your factories so you don't get dirty crops. Just adds kind of an incentive to use trains is how I'm thinking about it. But I've forked this into a light version. For people who don't want the hassle of that, you can just install create chimneys, basically. Create smokestacks. If there's someone else that enjoys this, yeah, let me know. Let me know if this is something that makes sense. And if you've got any suggestions or recommendations on how the smoke component can interact with like pollution and the wider environment, let me know. I'm still working on that. It's still in testing. It's a bit more complex, and I want to get the values dialed in before I publish it. The kind of concerns I have is previously I was working on a per biome basis, and there's a whole bunch of different little Minecraft biomes. There's like rocky shores and stuff like that, and sometimes you build across multiple biomes, so it needs to be a more dynamic value than just does X biome have X amount of pollution. But look, nitty gritty, if you've got any recommendations, features, suggestions, let them know. Pop them in the comments of this video, and I will I'll see about including them. Yeah, I hope people use this. Well, I mean, use it if you want. But I hope I'm not the only one sitting here going, damn, we need chimneys on these boilers. Yeah, if there's any bugs, let me know. Huzuni signing off.